So this is a NOVEDUCATION podcast.
Boys and girls, welcome back to NOVEDUCATION. As always, I am your host, Noved. Thank you for tuning in. If you're looking through the video, I'm in a different spot right now, different location. I got these pillows up. They're to block the glare from coming in on those windows back there. So we're in a different location right now. You got to work with what you got. Sorry if there's like an echo or reverb, but whatever it is, what it is. I hope everybody's doing all right. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the Dead Space ENT, our 50th episode is coming up, so be on the lookout for that. We're gonna get together, record, have a barbecue and shit, maybe take some pictures, video, whatever you guys want. Just a milestone, we're gonna celebrate. Just dope shit, whatever. So be on the lookout for that. And this weekend we have the UFC 273. Sorry about that. Dog, I can't wait for this fight, this card, mainly because of the Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev card. I know not a lot of people are hyping this fight up enough, but I think it's because the main fight isn't like that hyped. You know what I'm saying? But so you got Alexander Volkonovsky versus the Korean Zombie, and I can't pronounce his name. Then you got Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan, or as Aljo calls him, Cheater Yan. Finally, much awaited. And then we have the highly anticipated Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev. If you're a fan of the sport, even if you're a casual fan nowadays in 2022, you know who Khamzat Chimaev is. You know what I'm saying? You know what he's about. You've seen videos, and they're not edited versions. Those are all live, real footage. You know what I'm saying? Those are his fights, about 5 seconds long. But you know exactly what he is. He shoots. They say that his stamina is fucking unlike any other. They say he's a beast. I don't know if it's fucking just word to mouth lore, like legend of the man, but every interview I see about this dude says that he is actually, you haven't seen anything yet, and that he's way more of a beast. So in this fight, I want him to get tested. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for him to get like fucked up. Not that I want to see anybody get fucked up. Excuse me, but what I want to see is him get tested so we can finally see, like, is that true? Like, is that really what it's about with this guy? And the one man who could do it right now, who is a perfect test for him is Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns, people think, I don't know how many people. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know that, it's kind of, people think that he's on his back end. I said people think. I used to think, all right? I used to think that he was on, the back end of his career, but after seeing him beat Stephen Thompson and then that loss to Kamaru, I still think, he's still legit. He's still the runner for the title. And imagine if he wins this fight, if he stops Khamzat Chimaev in his tracks, you know what I'm saying? He's no scrub. He fucking, he could box. He could definitely box. So if he could have some good takedown defense, like his perfect takedown defense ever, I think that it'll be cool for him to take it into, in the deep waters. And that's that test we want to see for Khamzat Chimaev, you know what I'm saying? Because we haven't seen that in the octagon yet. You know what I'm saying? I think Gilbert Burns is the one who could do it, if you know what I'm saying? And his boxing is legit. He gave Kamaru some issues. He gave Kamaru trouble early in that fight, if you remember, but then just got caught with the straight. And then Kamaru was just a whole different animal. When he sees a weakness, he attacks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Khamzat Chimaev is that same animal, but we'll see. It's funny because I was watching the UFC, like the trailer for it, but it's like the one where they're all mashed together. It's not the embedded. It's a different one. It's where it's about like 40 minutes, and all the trailers are mashed together. And Gilbert Burns pointed out this one thing where he's like, I remember, because Khamzat Chimaev is 10-0. And Gilbert Burns said something to like, I remember when I was 10-0 at one point, and I thought I was unbeatable. I thought that I was dominating the divisions, and he said his 11th fight is when he got his first loss, and I thought it was just funny because Khamzat is 10-0. He's big headed, he's confident, and it's kind of like that. I remember when I had my first beer, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of veteran talk. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that he's an old veteran, but he's a savvy fighter. He's been in the game. So it's not far-fetched to say that Gilbert Burns can win this fight, but I will be going for Khamzat Chimaev because I want to see it, one. And two, I think he's going to win. I think he is that dominant. Like, I'm buying into the hype. This Saturday, I will be recording it live through the fight I will be recording live through the fight, with Master E. And I'm pretty sure my my decision on that fight is going to change. So that's what makes this fight exciting. You know what I'm saying? It could be anybody's game, but it's leaning toward Khamzat Chimaev. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. That second fight, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan. It's just kind of like, okay, I think Peter Yan's going to win, right? So to me, it just kind of seems like the ceremonial championship fight. You know what I'm saying? The first fight, if y'all don't know, Peter Yan was disqualified for an illegal knee to Aljamain Sterling's face. And so Aljo became the bantamweight champion, the title holder by people you could talk of shit all you want. I was on the side of Peter Yan saying like, he was fucking whooping his ass. But then you look at it, you think about it, you reflect on it, you let fucking like 2 years pass, and then it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you should have known the rules. You know what I'm saying? You should have known the rules. I get it. So I do consider Aljamain Sterling the bantamweight champion right now, because but also it's not a good look for him, because after they were supposed to fight and then he got like injured, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a good look for him. It's kind of looked like, he was ducking and dodging Peter Yan, that he wasn't ready for him yet. And also it didn't help that Corey Sandhagen came up to fight Peter Yan, and Peter Yan put on a great display. It was a great fight, but Peter Yan put on a champion's display, you know what I'm saying, to get that interim title, to say like, hey, Aljo, like, let's go, bro. Like, let's go. I need my title. That's what it kind of seems like. But I said this in the last episode. If Aljamain Sterling can keep doing what you do what you do, bro. Like, if Aljamain can, that unorthodox, that just, you don't know which style is coming, the style that he came out with in the first fight, I think you keep that. But the thing that should be changed is obviously the stamina, because you saw in the first fight, and I think it's good that they got to fight, and obviously he's the champion now. And he waited for that injury. You know what I'm saying? He got past that injury if he had one, but it's that neck injury or some shit like that. But he tired out. He blew out his gas tank in the first 2-3 rounds. He went all out and then lost that third round and then lost the fourth. And then he was about to lose the fourth, and then that knee came in. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the story, right? But that's basically how it went. And in this fight, if he could distribute his stamina, if he could distribute that energy through 5 rounds, to where in the 5th round, middle round, he's not as gassed, you know what I'm saying? I think he could give Peter Yan some trouble, because Peter Yan is coming in very confident, very skilled, and with all the momentum behind him. You know what I'm saying? If you could catch Peter Yan slipping in the late rounds, maybe give him some like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that. I think you could put money on Aljo. Like, why not? He's a great fighter. And if he could distribute that energy, like I said, I think that would be the key for him to win. Because Peter Yan usually looks like in his fights where he kind of learns what you're doing the first round, and then the second, he puts a little on, third, he puts a little bit more on, fourth, he brings it to the fourth, and the fifth, he just kind of finishes it. You know what I'm saying? As Jose Aldo. And Corey Sandhagen. But, yeah, so if you got money on Aljo, you got to hope that this man brings his stamina and his A game, because this is not a champion. This is a championship fight. This is not just some contender fight. This is not some type of, I'm going to jump 2 spots over you fight. This is the championship fight, bro. You're going 5 rounds, and you got to be tactical. You got to be aware all 5 rounds. Not to say that he's not in other fights, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's boosted to the max at a championship level. So, I hope Aljo wins. That would be cool to see. That would be dope. So that way we can get a 3rd fight. I don't know if Dana White would do that, but that would be cool to see. But I will be putting my money on Peter Yan. So take that how you want to take that. But then I don't think on the fight night that decision is going to change. I don't think that's going to change for me. But we'll see. Then the main fight, Alexander Volkonovsky versus Korean Zombie. I think Korean Zombie always has that chance, that puncher's chance, but I feel Volkanovski's going to take it home, Alexander the Great. Like I said, I've said it before, I wasn't really a big Alexander Volkanovsky fan. I felt that Holloway just overlooked overlooked Alexander Volkanovsky their first fight. And then the second fight, I still do believe that Holloway won that fight. I think he got robbed against Volkanovsky, but whatever, you go, and that's the sport. You just go forward. And then that fight against Brian Ortega, T-City, that was a dope fight, and that put things in perspective for me to where this fool is a champ's champ. You know what I'm saying? He was able to get out of some fucking locks that I didn't even think anybody could get out of. You know, he had a great defense. He was poised. He didn't fucking get all rattled when he was getting choked out, when he was bloody. Use it to his advantage. And Brian Ortega even said, man, like I was trying to fucking, but that little motherfucker just kept slipping out. So I think that gives him that edge against Korean Zombie as well. Not to mention his fucking kicks, bro. His kicks are just whack, whack, whack. His kicks are fucking deadly, dude. So Korean Zombie has a chance, but I don't think he's going to do it. But if Volkanovski ends up becoming, winning and remaining the title, defending his title well, then if I would hope, I mean, I want to see Holloway again. I would love to see Holloway again. I would hope that Volkanovski calls out Henry Cejudo, because Henry Cejudo's been saying, oh, give me that fight, give me that fight, give me that fight. And Dana White's not going to do that. Dana White's not going to pay him if Cejudo wants to come out of retirement, just, make that money and, hopefully get another chip and then just leave. You know what I'm saying? But I believe if Volkanovski calls him out, says, hey, I want that fight, I'm pretty sure fucking Cejudo's going to be there. If Volkanovski calls him out, then that's a whole nother story, bro, because there's pretty much not anybody he can face right now. Cejudo's right there. And if he starts his Korean Zombie, I think if he calls out Cejudo, that puts weight behind it, bro. The fans will want to see it. The numbers will be right because Volkanovski is going to become a fucking trend. I mean, it's going to go viral real quick. You know what I'm saying? And Dana White, I feel like, as far as those super fights, he's done it in the past, but like super fights like that, he's only done one, which is the McGregor-Mayweather fight. That was just a heist. You know what I'm saying? A legal heist. This fool, he should call out Henry Cejudo. That would be a good fight, and it'll make for good entertainment because right now they seem like the best comp, against each other right now. Volkanovski's big, he could kick, he could keep distance, but Cejudo, he will take you down whenever he wants. You know what I'm saying? I'll drink some water real quick. But yeah, can't wait. Be on the lookout for that episode where Masai and myself are going to be recording live through the fight. So be on the lookout for that. One of the big news in the NFL right now is that DK Metcalf is looking to be traded. Not DK Metcalf, my bad. That they're open to trade him, the Seattle Seahawks. My educated guess is this, that he's going to be traded before the draft. I think the talks have been hyping up a lot. Yeah, I know Seattle has done this before with Russell Wilson, to where if you remember 2 seasons ago, last season, at the beginning of last season and the season before that, they were talking about trading Russell Wilson. They were like, oh, we're open to it, whatever. So I think this is kind of that same similar energy to where it's like, yeah, for the right price, we'll trade his ass, And I think it's a good PR move for DK Metcalf to say, hey, I want to stay here with my team. I love my team. I want to be with my team. I'm not going anywhere. That's a good PR move, bro. Because it shows that you're a team player, that you're humbled and you're loyal to your squad. And teams like that. What team doesn't like that? But that was a good PR move because I do believe he's gone. I believe he's going to be traded, and they said they'll be open to trading him for the right price. Best believe there's some teams giving that right price. Teams that was going to about to give big money to fucking Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? And Deshaun Watson he's not going to play the whole season. You know what I'm saying? And DK, this is his last season. Why, tell me this, why would you trade your Hall of Fame quarterback, let go of your Hall of Fame linebacker, You're not going to get any rookie quarterback in the draft that's going to start immediately. You're going to go on with Drew Lock. You're in a rebuild. You have I love you, Pete Carroll. SC kind of fucking says fuck you, but I love you, but Pete Carroll's basically out the door. This team is about to go in rebuild, full rebuild mode, and that's what it smells like. That's what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? Why are you going to give DK Metcalf money for next season? Why are you going to extend his contract? Why not get a good asset for him? Get some picks later on for the next season, the season before that. I mean, after that, maybe a player or two. You know what I'm saying? The draft is coming, so people are, they're making their strategies going. I think he's going to be traded. That's just my thought on the situation. DK, fuck it, come to New Orleans. Well, I'm not in New Orleans, but go to New Orleans, bro. I'm a Saints fan. Go to New Orleans, bro. Team up with Michael Thomas, bro, or team up with Lamar Jackson. He's been asking about you. Yep, Lamar's my fantasy quarterback. What of it? Yeah, DK Metcalf. That dude is an absolute beast. But I got here. So yesterday, I put out a video that recognizing Frank Gore on his retirement and what he meant and what running back he was, how I admired him. And it got me thinking, about running backs that like get forgotten throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? Not that Frank Gore had got forgotten, but it just got me thinking about all the other running backs who were dominant. You know what I'm saying? And if you bring up the name, you go, damn, that was a badass running back. I'm talking about running backs where they were balling, they were balling. They weren't necessarily the best running back because people get overshadowed, but they were the fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? So I got 5 running backs right now. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, that's 4. I can't count. Yeah. What running backs do you think that have been forgotten like throughout the years? You know what I'm saying? Through transitions and trades and maybe horrible bad last seasons. What running backs do you remember? You know what I'm saying? We'll call this the "Do Not Forget This Guy" segment. You know what I'm saying? I like that. The first running back I want to mention is the little bad motherfucker, 5'7" from the UCLA Bruin, Maurice Jones-Drew. MJD, bro. Give it up for MJD, bro. Give it up. One of my favorite running backs to play with in Madden. A lot of these guys are going to come from Madden. Madden and fantasy football. But he was a beast, bro. He was the fucking bright little spot on fucking in Jacksonville. This dude was short, so he was low to the ground. His balance was nice. His vision was great, bro, because he was able to see pockets that that 6'2" guys cannot see. You know what I'm saying? 5'7". He was fast as fuck. Not to mention how this fool was built like a fucking bowling ball. His neck is probably 2 of my legs put together, bro. Like that's how big this dude was. He would run into fools, they would fall over, and he would just keep going. That's how level he was to the ground. That's how strong he was. He was elusive as fuck, and he was. I like my running backs to be incorporated in the fucking passing game. And when you caught Maurice Jones-Drew out on the screen, it was bad news for that defense. So Maurice Jones-Drew, shout out to you. Do not forget this guy. The next running back I would like to mention. Let me drink some water, ladies and gentlemen. Stay hydrated. Cheers. Stay hydrated. It is Monday the 4th, I believe. The next guy I want to talk about, this dude, I would always try to pick him up in fantasy all the time. I just admired the play. I loved how he looked in the uniform. He was just one of those just veteran running backs who were just good all season, and then they were just dope, always doing their job. This dude is from Tulane. I believe he's 6'2". This is Matt Forte, baby, and specifically Matt Forte of the Chicago Bears, bro. The Chicago Bears. But when he got traded to the Jets, I was like, I don't know if I like that on him, but he was still balling, bro. He was still balling in those old days, in those veteran days. This dude, he was a do-it-all running back. Like I said, I believe he was 6'2", like 215 or something like that. Saw that. 9,796 overall yards, 54 touchdowns. Yeah, the stats don't tell the story, man. The stats don't tell the story about this dude. My just when I think of Matt Forte, I think of just solid running back, that stretch play. He's always going to get at least 3 to 4 yards, bro. On that stretch play, he was big. He was just everything you wanted in a running back. But the plays that stick out to me the most are in the passing game, specifically the wheel and corner routes. This dude, when he would get out on open field up against a linebacker, he's winning one-on-one all the time. And his hands, he was able to reach for the ball. And say whatever you want about Jay Cutler, but he knew how to give it to Matt Forte. No homo. He knew how to pass the ball to him. He knew the pockets. He knew where exactly he wanted. And it wasn't just like some Brandon Marshall's up there. I'm going to just throw it up. He's going to catch it. No, these dudes practice, and you could tell Matt Forte in the receiving game loved to play with this dude in Madden. Also, I have a soft spot for him because I always picked him up in fantasy football, and he was just overall dope. So Matt Forte of the Chicago Bears, props to you, bro. Do not forget this guy, bro. Do not forget this guy. So that was 2. I got 3 more running backs to share with you. All right. This next running back, this next running back, beast. Just fucking animal beast. My boy Joe Wow is gonna love me for this one. This running back, maybe you might get lost in transition because of the running backs that have gone through that organization after him, and there's the Hall of Fame running backs before him. But when this running back was at his top of his game, you weren't stopping him. He was a cheat code for me in Madden. I'm talking about the Oregon State Beavers, St. Louis Ram, Steven Jackson, motherfucker. Y'all remember who Steven Jackson is? How do I say this? The man just couldn't stop running. He would maul through you. He would run through you. And once he breaks away, he hits another gear, and he's like a fucking horse. Just boom. He was literally a ram, a speedy ram. He could pass. I mean, he could pass block. He could catch. He could hit the fucking hose and the sweeps. He was fucking very elusive. People forget that about Steven Jackson. But as far as him being a power back, he was very elusive, bro. He was one of the best running backs I have ever seen. I know he gets overlooked because maybe the teams at the time were not good around him. There was other running backs who were dominating around him, but go back and look at some highlights on Steven Jackson. Let's see his overall career stats, bro. 11,438 yards. What is that? My bad, my screen fucked up. 69 touchdowns. The man wasn't a fucking beast, bro. I don't really remember him playing at Oregon State too much. Like I'm telling you that. But in St. Louis, bro, that man was a problem. So shout out to you, Steven Jackson of the St. Louis Rams. Do not forget this guy, bro. All right, next running back I want to talk about. This running back. Here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you this. I'm just gonna talk about this running back. Back in the day when I was a youngster, I was always of the impression that all the things that you can do in high school, you can't do in college. All the things you can do in college, you can't do in the pros. You know what I'm saying? You got to adapt. And that's what makes a good running back. For example, you cannot be a shaky East and West running back in the pros. You could do it in high school, but you can't really do it in college. If you can fucking get the spin, if you had that spin move, you were quick off the tackle or off the screenplay or off the read, and you were going east-west as opposed to north-south, you could do that in college, but you can't do that in the pros. I was always of that mind. This running back proved me wrong. He proved me wrong to where I can say now, this is how you should run. This is what a running back is. The running back I'm talking about is from Pittsburgh, LaShawn Shady McCoy of the Philadelphia Eagles. All you Eagles fans, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Shady was not the smoothest, but he was just the nicest, bro. He was the nicest. As a running back, you are taught to put one hand under and one hand over the football when you're running the ball. This man would hold the ball like a loaf of bread, And when he would shake you, bro, that ball's out here, and he just slightly tucks it into his forearm, and just slips by the fucking defender. The way this man would come off the tackle and his little shake was fucking. I did not see that in the pros. You know, granted, I never really seen Barry Sanders play like consciously. Reggie Bush, he was like that in college, but he was somewhat like that in the pros. But he changed throughout his career. LaShawn Shady McCoy kept it like that all throughout his career. He was fun to watch, a highlight reel, and he was a great fucking fantasy fucking player for you. If you had him in fantasy, he was great. I never really had him because I couldn't get him. But LaShawn McCoy was a fucking animal. That team, that Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson era, bro. That fucking who was their tight end? Eagles fans, remind me of the tight end who that tight end was. But that was a dope fun. That was a fun team to watch, and a lot of it had to do was because of LaShawn McCoy. If you get him in open field, there's a reason they call him Shady, bro. He's gonna do you shady. But yeah, LaShawn McCoy, props to you, LaShawn McCoy of the Philadelphia Eagles. Do not forget this guy, bro. I have one more running back who I do not want y'all to forget. This running back didn't have too long of a career, and his let's see, his careers didn't have too long of a career, but when he was dominant, he was my favorite running back to watch. You know, besides Reggie Bush, besides Adrian Peterson, he was just I enjoyed watching this dude. Yeah, he had a short career, 6,927, right? Yeah, my bad. 6,527 yards. Those are running back yards. He was also in the passing game, but he was mainly when I would see him, when I would turn on Sunday football, I would see this man get it on a counter run, on a screen, on an inside zone run. And the way water moves through and in between rocks, that's how this running back moved. I don't know how else to explain it. If Shady's the most exciting player you have ever seen, Arian Foster is the smoothest running back I have ever seen. Arian Foster of the Houston Texans, Tennessee, I believe he's like 6'1". This 227. This dude was a fucking, I don't want to say animal because he was calm, collected, cool. He was the smoothest running back. There is no other way to put it. That team, that Houston Texans team, that Matt Schaub, that Andre Johnson, the Arian Foster, that defense, Brian Cushing, Jonathan Joseph, that was a good team. And a lot of it had to do because of Arian Foster. And Arian Foster's, people didn't expect it from him because of how he was deceivingly fast. You know what I'm saying? He was deceivingly big. So if you try to hit him, he would just kind of shed you, like just get you off and keep running. He was smooth and he turned it up when he needed to turn it up. And that's what, defenses, he gave defensive problems like that because you couldn't really get a read on this guy. He was so smooth, kept it calm. He knew how to read the defenses because every time he would come off that stretch play, it was just a beautiful thing to see. Just him. It wasn't even like a zigzag. It was more like a, you know what I'm saying? It was like water going through rocks. So Arian Foster of the Houston Texans, props to you, bro. Do not forget these running backs. I often think about that, like when like players or like, any players from like the MLB, players from the NFL, the NBA, to where it's like you kind of forget those players, but they were actually important to a team. They were the most dominant, in the league at that time at one moment. And you got the stars, you have your legends, your first ballot Hall of Famers, but then you have these other guys who are literally not first ballot because of the team that they were on. But given to any other team, these players would still thrive. And I do believe that these 5 running backs, they should not be forgotten. There was a couple other ones, honorable mentions, like Deuce McAllister I was thinking of, Michael Turner I was thinking of, Priest Holmes, Sean Alexander. These running back, I was gonna say Brian Westbrook because Brian Westbrook was dope in his own right. He was a great like team player, but I already had an Eagle in there. You know what I'm saying? But Brian Westbrook was dope. Cadillac Williams, Ricky Williams, Cedric Williams, right? I think it's Cedric Williams, right, from Cincinnati. But those running backs, you know, they were honorable mentions. But these are my favorite running backs to look at. Like Steven Jackson, bro. If you don't like, dude, Steven Jackson is one of the fucking baddest runners ever. He looked like Adrian Peterson mixed with Walter Payton. Like that is what you got with Steven Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And then Shady, bro. Like Shady was just cold-blooded, bro. Cold-blooded. It was cool to play with him on Madden. That team on Madden was dope. That Michael Vick Eagle team, that was a badass fucking year. I believe that year you still had Chris Johnson, CJ 2K 28 with the fucking that one big ass season that he had, the speedster. But yeah, man, if you like these type of segments, let me know and I'll do a little bit more of them. I have a couple of ideas for the later time, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So UFC 273, tell me, who do you got? Do you have between Burns, Chimaev, Sterling versus Yan, and Korean Zombie versus Volkonovsky? Who do you got? And who are some give me some running backs that you want to mention that you feel like they don't get mentioned enough. What are some running backs? Maybe next time I'll do some maybe I'll do receivers that are not mentioned enough. You know what I'm saying? But till then, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for our 50th episode of the Dead Space ENT. And then this Saturday, I will be recording live with Masa E through the UFC 273. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.